Hey KU fans, welcome back to KU Sports Extra. I'm Matt Tate. I'm joined by the man, Benton Smith, Mr. Football. Sorry, I got carried away.
Man, you really did.
We do have some football news to talk about, though. Here in just a little bit, David Beatty's going to have his weekly press conference. But Benton, last night, David Beatty announced on his weekly radio show that KU football has a new starting quarterback. The first thing that popped in your head when you heard the news?
Why did it take so long?
Good question.
Because they've been using this rotation. Kozar would start, and then Willis would come in, and they would kind of go back and forth.
Right.
And it just seemed like, how do you get a rhythm offensively when you're doing that? At some point, they had to move on from this and just name someone the starting quarterback. And honestly, he didn't even clarify on the radio show whether or not he would keep rotating Kozar in. So we'll ask him about that today at the press conference, and hopefully he'll give some clarity to that situation.
Sure.
I think that it's just going to be Willis, unless Willis gets hurt or something, then they have to bring Kozar back in.
Right.
It seemed like last week he kind of wanted to go away from that.
Yeah, you wrote a blog about that.
He started Kozar, and then Kozar was in the whole first quarter. He just played awful. He didn't have turnovers, but just wasn't completing anything. So they had to go back to Willis, and he was pretty much leaving Willis in until Willis got a little hurt in the third quarter. So I think we'll have a lot more clarity on the situation today.
Sure.
And my guess is my guess is that Ryan Willis will be the starting quarterback, at least for this week.
Yeah.
We'll see where it goes from there.
I'm glad we finally got to his name, because if they haven't been reading, we
can
say Ryan Willis, the sophomore, who is going to start this week for the 11 a.m. kickoff against TCU here in Lawrence. It's something that fans have been asking for a long time.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, why so long? Well, I think it goes back to the summer. It's very possible that if Willis didn't injure that wrist playing basketball and have that whole ordeal.
Miss the spring.
Exactly right. I mean, if he doesn't do that, this may have been a non-issue completely, but that opened the door for Kozar to slide in there, and Kozar's a guy that the coaches like. They believe in him. They like his effort. They like him as a person too.
Great leader.
Exactly.
Teammates respect him. And
so I think that it's interesting that was sort of that hiccup, and now we'll see if this gets us to the other side of the mountain. Just real quick before we get out of here, though, the thing you like most about what Willis brings to this offense is?
I think he's just a better passer than Kozar, is what it comes down to. I don't think we've got a chance to see that this season yet, because he's been in that weird rotation system. I mean, you just never really get in a rhythm, I don't think.
No, at Tech he had one drive that he obviously got down to the 4-yard line, and I mean, they were knocking on the door. He threw a couple of really nice passes down the field there, and that's it. This horizontal passing game where it's out to the side is part of their offense for sure, but it can't be all of it. And Willis gives them the opportunity to go down the field, get Ben Johnson involved.
Yeah, hit Sims deep, get LaQuiviante Gonzalez the ball out in space, and allow him to do something. I think Beatty said he thinks the offense will be more efficient with Willis at quarterback, and I think it has potential to be more dynamic, which wouldn't be hard to do because it hasn't been very dynamic so far.
Yeah, agreed. The question you will ask David Beatty that you're most excited about with this position here in just a little bit, what's the question you're dying to ask him?
Are you going to rotate Montel Kozar in?
There you go.
Or is Ryan Willis your quarterback the entire game against TCU?
Love it. I think that's a great question. One that I'm excited to ask, hopefully get an opportunity to, is why announce it? You've been very, very big on this idea of keeping it a secret, and now you've changed your mind. I'm not trying to clown him. I'm just curious, have you changed your philosophy entirely? Because, if you're going to start Ryan Willis, you could just start him, and instead you're announcing it, which has gone against everything you've done for really the first 15, 16 games that you've been here. So I don't know what he'll say. It'll be interesting. We will find out, and of course we will have all of that coverage here on KUsports.com. From today's press conference, you can hear the audio too. So check it out, check back in a little while. But you've got it from Benton Smith, his first thoughts on Ryan Willis being named the starter for this week's KU football game. Thanks for checking out KU Sports Extra, and we'll talk to you guys again real soon.